LOAHMMI. Yo, it's time to get live with LOAHMMI. Yo, it's time to get live with LOAHMMI. Yo, it's time to get, all things spiritual, metaphysical knowledge is critical. I'm out here on this journey for the truth and I'ma bring it to you. We'll come together even though we're individuals. Yo, it's time to get live with LOAHMMI. Yo, get live with LOAHMMI.
Yo, peace and blessings, and welcome to episode 13 of Live with LOAHMMI. You are chilling with your girl LOAHMMI, and I just wanted to actually make a quick show and address some things that I just kind of see happening in the media today. And, you know, if you've listened to this show before, you know that this is about metaphysics, spirituality, crystals, stones, consciousness, elevation, law of attraction, all things spiritual, metaphysical, and that's what's up. So thank you for joining me for episode 13 of Live with LOAHMMI. And if this is your first time joining me, like I said, thank you. And if you've listened before, then you should like, you should subscribe, you should comment, you should share. Like, I'm trying to get, you know, a feeling as to what's going on and if you guys are like really feeling the show. So anyhow, like, subscribe, whatever. So the reason why I'm making this show is that I stumbled upon a video that just kind of really took me back to my roots. And since I started this show, I've always expressed to you guys that it's all about my opinion. It's all about how I feel. It's all about my consciousness, my elevation, and just like y'all joining me on this journey. All of y'all, if you are listening to the show, then you are probably, you know, somebody that has the same type of thought process that I have. We probably share some of the same interests. So this show just really took me back to my roots as far as, you know, the beginning of the whole reason why I started to study myself and, you know, conspiracy theorists and, you know, learning more about the New World Order and learning about what it is the government might have, you know, planned for us, all of that stuff. Like, if you are like me, then that is one of the main reasons why you kind of just stumbled upon, you know, spiritual consciousness. We were all really curious and just really trying to figure out what was going on. So back when I was younger, you know, I really started to get knowledge. I got knowledge of self as a Black woman, and, you know, that still has been a learning process, just like, you know, the process has been about learning about this government and what we got going on, dealing with the New World Order, dealing with a lot of the stuff that we got going on with OBZ. I know so many Black people that's just happy that we got a Black president. I mean, he about to get out of office. That's cool. I'm not even about to get political, because if you listen to the show, then you already know. Like, you know what I mean? You already know. It's not something I don't care who the president is. I don't care if he Black and, you know, it's Michelle Obama. You know, it's cool. It's a good look. But overall, you know, they don't have our best interest at hand. You know what I mean? And I'm just, you know, realizing that when I started to get knowledge of self and learn about consciousness and this government and myself as a human being, the power that I have, you know, it's just been crazy, because now that I'm older, I won't tell my age, but either way it goes, now that I'm older, I'm watching things literally happen. You know what I'm saying? And I just think it's kind of, it's just time. You know what I mean? I've always wanted to prepare other people and get them on board with the shit that I saw happening around me, but people never really was feeling me. And I think that now more people are starting to realize some things and open up their eyes. It's crazy because, you know, I know a lot of people who are practicing Christians, and honestly, you know, y'all got it. They coming for Christians. It's about to go down. Either way it goes. You know what I mean? Honestly. United States government is just really just sliding a lot of things up under y'all, and you're not really paying attention. And it's not even enough for me to go into in a 30-minute show. It's not my job. It's a lot of shit out of here on the internet. It's a lot of people out here spitting knowledge, you know, about the government, about Black consciousness, about all that. That's not where I'm at. You know what I mean? I'm just giving you my opinion about what I see going on. And honestly, it's kind of crazy because, you know, back when I was younger, I was really, really unsure, You know what I'm saying? Like, we was just young and just getting knowledge of self and just, trying to figure it all out. But what's crazy is when you see it happen, it's just kind of like, wow. You know what I mean? And I'm going to be straight up 100, because one thing that I thought about when I thought about this situation was the fact that I honestly thought that I would have been more prepared. I'm not telling you this shit and saying that I just learned about it like last year. You talking to somebody who is, a little bit old. I'm in my 30s. You know what I'm saying? And I actually started to learn about this back when I was like 21, 22 years old. So, in my mind, I felt as though, I had this knowledge. I knew what I needed to do to protect myself and my family. And I knew what I wanted to have set up for my children and all kind of stuff, and preparing all kind of these underground homes. I mean, in my mind, for real, like, because the shit is real, and I'm not playing. Like, it's really, really about to get real. And it's crazy because they are like preparing, y'all, for, especially the people that watch I don't watch the zombie shit. Like, I'm not about to watch a whole bunch of zombies. Like, that's not my thing. But I can understand what the symbolism of that is. And I can even understand if that shit could even just be a reality. Because people, it's just crazy. The water's fucked up. The food's fucked up. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, overall, I kind of felt like I would have been a little bit more prepared than I am at my age. Back when I was, 21, 22, and I started to learn about these things, I felt like I would have had a lot more for myself set up. Money set aside, the house underground, prepared food for 5 years. I had a lot of stuff in mind that I wanted to have set up for myself, and that's just not the reality. So, the reason why I did this show is just to kind of check people that, who that are my age, and, we've learned about these things before. Now is the time, you know what I mean? Do you remember the shit that you read back in the day? Because we starting to fall into the traps. You know what I'm saying? You fall into the false flags, all the drama, the shootings, and all this stuff that's taking away your right to bear arms. All of this shit that's going on, They over here buying all these guns, doing all these military runs. They basically preparing people, and people ain't even seeing it, but they basically preparing for war on American soil. And I've been saying this shit since back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Which is one of the as a parent, you can get into that mode and easily be spooked out. Like, yo, like, what the fuck? Like, this shit is wild. And, we need to figure out what we're going to do to protect our families and protect our children and protect, ourselves, But, that's just the reason for me making this show, you know what I mean? And this episode, because I was watching a video that I posted on my Facebook, and it was just talking about overall the different things that are being implemented and things that are happening that are, taking over and trying to create the atmosphere for a whole new world order. You know what I mean? Basically, a whole one world currency, one world government. You know what I mean? We've been talking about this shit. People have been rapping about this shit like it's, like it's just, like not reality, but it's reality, and it's here. So my thing is, what are you going to do? Like, how are you going to how are you going to prepare for your family with what's going on? You know what I mean? Are you going to allow for them to take away your guns, take away your rights? I mean, day by day, we are being bombarded by so many different distractions. You know what I mean? There's so much out there that's just taking our minds away from what's really, really going on. And like I said in my last show, if I was still a practicing Christian, I would be very concerned, because it's obvious that they are coming for that religion, which is crazy, because that was the religion that this country was so-called raised on. Like, now they attacking that. They tearing down the 10 Commandments. They putting up statues of Baphomet. You know what I'm saying? And people fucking freaking out like, oh my God, like, this is the devil. Like, you know what I mean? People don't know who Baphomet is, what it represents, because ain't nobody doing their homework and getting no spiritual knowledge. But like I said, the reason for me doing the show was really overall to tell you, like I told you, if you've known me for years, I told you this shit back in 92, 93. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, Busta Rhymes was talking about how we only had 5 years left, and we don't watch him go from being somebody that was spiritually conscious and talking about it to just, I don't know, whatever. I won't even touch Buster. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? The time is now, and a lot of the things that we have heard about and read about are being implemented right now. Microchipping, taking away your right to bear arms, your freedom of expression. You can't even say nothing. Like right now, what they're using is the whole gay agenda. Like, honestly, people are allowed, they should be allowed to be who they want to be and do what they want to do and not have it bother nobody. But they're making it such a huge issue, you know what I'm saying, that when you say anything wrong, it's like you're bullying and you're badgering, and they fucking with, they pulling off y'all emotions, and y'all are allowing for them to pass these different laws and implement these different rules that's gonna make it to where you can't say nothing about nobody. You can't even say how you feel, even if you trying to stand on the same issues that this country was quote unquote founded upon. We know this country is full of shit. They came over here, took everything from black people, took everything from Indians. I ain't even gonna go into that. That's a whole nother show. That's the truth, and it's a whole nother show. You know what I'm saying? But what's about to happen right here on American soil should be something that you should be concerned about. Honestly, I've been saying this for over 15, 20 years. The next war is going to be fought over here on American soil, and y'all not going to know I ain't going to know what we going to do when it's time for, they coming in our house and doing what they doing to people over in Syria, and over in Africa. What's going to happen when they doing that over here in American soil? You know what I mean? Y'all so busy going to work, you know what I mean? Not paying attention, so focused on money, sports. I mean, America feel like it's like a lot of people are going to be in for a real big rude awakening. I'm not saying it's going to happen tomorrow, but, I definitely see that it's something that is on the horizon. I mean, I've been reading about this, like I said, for over 15, 20 years. And you can't tell me that things that are going on right now are not pushing up and leading up to that happening. If you got a problem with it, you can call me. Give me a call right now. The Live with LOAHMMI hotline is open, 765-444-3254. You can give me a call and let me know what you think about it, because I see all these things happening before me that I read about when I was 19, 20, 21 years old. You know what I'm saying? And it's going down. And we got children out here in the school system still. You know what I mean? We still haven't built enough up for us to take our people and do something and make a huge movement. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do? If the shit hit the fan right now, what is it that you have prepared to do for your family? And that's what made me think. It made me take a pause, and I was just like, damn, I really, when I first started reading about this, I felt like I would have had a lot more together. Shout out to my people that do. You got your savings, you got your money. But either way it go, for real, when the shit hits the fan, you know what I mean? All of your savings, investment, home, everything, all of that shit it don't even belong to you anyway. So if that's where you basing your sense of security, then you're going to be in for a rude surprise, because that don't mean nothing. At the end of the day, that means nothing. So what is it that you're going to have in place, and what are you going to have set up for yourself to make sure that you and your family are going to be okay? You know what I mean? What are you going to have set up so you will have the things you need if you just need to up, jump, and run out of your house? I mean, I'm serious. This is serious. All of this, shootings going on, people killing, black people in our community. We shooting, killing each other, and we out here rioting. We out here, all of that shit is about to be illegal. It's going to get to the point where they can shoot and kill and just really start killing people and separating families and, shaking up the home dynamic. We've signed our children over to a government as bonds. I can't even get in that deep within this 30-minute show because it's way too deep. And if you don't know by now, then you need to go and start doing some serious research. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. I'm just going to tell you like that. You need to start reading some materials about prepping and about how to survive, what you need to do to make sure you and your family are going to be okay. What it even means, like, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't even have no clue because they consider people like me to be huge conspiracy theorists, and they thought it was funny and they thought it was a joke, and it's, oh, ha, ha, ha. You know, everybody thinks this is going to happen in the New World Order and microchips. You know, they introducing that shit right now on the credit cards.